In this video, we're going to be talking about colors and how to pick the right colors for your design project. First of all, colors have meaning. So choosing the right color is very important for the kind of project you're working on. Colors also communicate tone and emotions. For example, when you think about McDonald's, the first the first thing that comes to your mind is red and yellow. Why? Because most food brands use that color. When you think about Coca-Cola, red comes to your mind. When you think about products in the tech ecosystem like Apple products, what comes to your mind is off-white and gray or black. Because in that sector, in that industry, that's the kind of color that's prominent and communicates what that industry is all about. So choosing the right color, depending on the kind of project you're working on, is really important. You want to check out what colors is more prominent in every industry so you can pick something that aligns with that industry and users are not surprised at your color choices. Now there are literally infinite number of colors out there. How exactly are you supposed to pick the right color for your project? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. Now we also want to look at RGB and X color codes and the differences between them. Basically, RGB just means red, green, and blue. So you have a percent, for example, this red over here, you have more of red, which is about 207. Then you have a little bit of green and a little bit of blue. This is 33, 33. So this is the RGB numbers for this red. For the same red, this is the X numbers, which is CF 21, 21. So for the X values, the first two represent red, the second two represent green, and the last two represent blue. All right, moving on. How to choose a color palette and a color scheme. This is very important. There are four ways or four color schemes to pick from when choosing your color palette. Number one is the monochrome. So monochrome consists of one base color, but with various tints, shades, and saturation. So, for example, if you pick blue, you can have various saturation of the same blue color. Now, this is very cohesive, but you can easily run the risk of having a monotonous color scheme and everything looks kind of boring. So you want to be careful when picking out a monochrome color scheme. The next up is the complementary color scheme. Now, complementary color scheme means you pick two colors on the opposite sides of the color wheel. For example, you have green and red, blue and orange. This creates a bright, high contrast color scheme. It's usually very good when you're designing for fun kind of projects or project that involves a lot of color combination. Complementary colors is a good way to go. However, you want to be careful not to overuse it because when the colors are too bright, it tends to be a kind of harsh for the users. Next up is the analogous color. Now, analogous involves three colors sitting next to each other on the color wheel. Uh, So you have, for example, red, orange, and a little bit of yellow. This creates sort of cohesive color scheme similar to your monochrome, but it's more flexible. You can see this example here of the gradient color scheme. So this is an example of analogous color scheme. Now, the last on the list is the triadic color scheme. Triadic color schemes are basically colors sitting on opposite side of each other, but there are three colors, not just two colors. So to create a triadic color scheme, you use a triangle and pick the colors on each end of each vertices of that triangle. So this creates three colors that are complementary to each other. However, you want to be careful when using a triadic color scheme because you need to make one the prominent color, and then make the rest the secondary color. Now, these four color schemes will guide you in picking the right color for your project. On the final note, there are some colors that are consistent across all design projects, and they are basically used for functionality. For example, red. Red is used for error messages. Now, picking another color for your error messages will be inconsistent with industry standard and might throw off users, and users may not be sure. So you want to maintain some colors across all your design projects. Now, that said, make sure you please subscribe, share this video, like, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.